Heather from the Fort St. John North Peace Museum. How you doing today, Heather?
Good, you?
I'm doing very well, thank you very much. Now, it sounds like you've got this wonderful presentation coming up, I believe, this Friday night in the museum called Winter in the North Peace. Perfect timing as we come into spring here, but we're seeing some more winter weather. Tell me a bit about what, this presentation's going to kind of cover off.
Sure. So it's going to be 3 presentations. One presentation is going to be all on winter transportation. So back in the early days, like snowshoes, skis, sleighs, even getting into a car that has to travel a very long time to go a very short distance during a blizzard.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be another presentation that's going to be on a whole bunch of winter things, from fun sports to the beauty of winter to all the problems kind of adjusting to winter in a little log cabin where all your food is freezing and it's frigid and so on. Mm-hmm. And then the third presentation is going to be Larry Evans, who will share his memories of his childhood growing up here during the winter.
I see. Are you giving the first 2 presentations, or are those 2 other people?
I will give one of them, and the other one will be Bruce Christensen.
Oh, okay. Very cool. I mean, you think back to when you do hear some of these stories about people making it work out in the Northeast, and you think about the comforts we have now here in Fort St. John, and you can't help but wonder, how did anyone manage to both A, want to be here, and B, manage to stay here through some of the conditions that people live through, eh?
I totally agree. We like to complain a lot, but we have it really easy. Whereas I always think the people who had some electricity and then came to the North Peace in like the 30s or whatever, like Vi Woodward comes from southern BC, and she ends up in the Cecil Lake Outpost Hospital, and she arrives and there's frost on the inside of her walls. So she said she wasn't daunted, and she did eventually marry and stay in this area. So
absolutely, yeah. And it gets below -10, and I'm like, it's too cold. Okay, well, I think it said free admission for these, though a donation would be appreciated. Is that correct?
That's right. Donations help us kind of cover our time and keep preserving and presenting the past.
Okay. And then do you have to buy tickets for this ahead of time, or is it just at the door?
No, you just stop in at the door.
Excellent. All right. Anything else we need to know about this wonderful presentation coming up, Heather, or anything else happening at the museum over spring break?
Well, I'll be back on next week to tell you more about our April Fool's search and find. So we'll leave that for then.
All right. And then just quickly tell us when you're open, Heather. So if people are looking for something fun to do with the kids over the next week or so, till we find out more next week, when they can come by and do so.
We're open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 11 to 4. And kids 5 and under are free.
Excellent, Heather. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for being here and doing this today.
Thanks for having me.
This community interview is supported by your Member of Parliament, Bob Zimmer. Stop by his office in Fort St. John at 9916 100th Avenue and in Dawson Creek at 101.